Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are focusing on one of the most brutal and revealing episodes on the Eastern Front, where the fighting around Pokrovsk has turned into a nightmare for Russian assault units. What is happening there is not just another clash on the map, but a clear example of how modern defensive warfare, preparation and intelligence can completely shatter repeated attack waves. Pokrovsk has long been seen as a strategic gateway. It connects supply routes, rail lines, and operational depth for Ukrainian forces in the Donetsk region. Because of this, Russian command has poured men and equipment into the area, hoping that relentless pressure would eventually crack Ukrainian defenses. Instead, the opposite has happened. Ukrainian units have transformed the terrain into a layered kill zone, with trenches, ditches, mined approaches, and pre-sighted artillery coordinates, turning every advance into a deadly gamble. The phrase "ditches of death" is not exaggeration. These anti-vehicle ditches and trench systems are designed to stop armor, slow infantry, and force attackers into predictable paths. Once Russian troops enter these zones, they are exposed to overlapping fire from drones, artillery, machine guns, and precision strikes. Russian assault tactics around Pokrovsk have relied heavily on repeated frontal attacks. Small infantry groups are sent forward, often with minimal armored support, tasked with probing Ukrainian lines. When they fail, another group follows, and then another, creating wave after wave of exhausted and under-equipped soldiers. Ukrainian forces have clearly anticipated this pattern. Defensive positions are not static. They are flexible, concealed, and constantly adjusted based on real-time intelligence. Drones play a crucial role here, spotting movement long before Russian units reach the first trench line. Once detected, the attackers are tracked continuously. Artillery units wait until Russian troops bunch up near obstacles like ditches or destroyed vehicles. That is when fire missions are called in, maximizing casualties and chaos. The terrain around Pokrovsk works heavily in Ukraine's favor. Open fields broken by tree lines and small villages leave little cover for advancing infantry. In dry conditions, dust clouds give away movement. In wet conditions, mud slows vehicles and tires soldiers even more. Russian armored vehicles, when used, often become liabilities. Once a tank or infantry fighting vehicle is disabled in a ditch or by a mine, it blocks the route for everything behind it. This creates bottlenecks that Ukrainian gunners exploit with devastating efficiency. Reports from the front indicate that many Russian units are being pushed forward with limited coordination. Communications break down under fire, officers are lost early in the assault, and remaining troops are left confused and exposed. In contrast, Ukrainian command and control around Pokrovsk appears disciplined and calm. Units rotate when possible, ammunition stocks are carefully managed, and defensive fire is not wasted. Every shot is meant to serve a purpose. Drones are everywhere in this battle. Reconnaissance drones hover high above, while FPV drones hunt closer to the ground. For Russian soldiers, the psychological pressure is immense. Even when artillery is silent, the buzzing sound overhead signals that they are being watched. Once an assault begins to falter, Ukrainian forces do not immediately counterattack. Instead, they let the attackers exhaust themselves. Only when Russian units are disorganized, low on ammunition, and attempting to retreat do Ukrainian strike teams move in. This method minimizes Ukrainian casualties while maximizing Russian losses. It also preserves defensive positions, ensuring they remain intact for the next wave. The repeated failure of these assaults raises serious questions about Russian operational planning. Throwing manpower into prepared defenses without achieving breakthroughs suggests either desperation or a lack of viable alternatives. Morale on the Russian side appears to be suffering. Captured soldiers and intercepted communications describe confusion, fear, and frustration. Many troops reportedly did not know their objectives beyond advance forward. Pokrovsk has become a symbol of how warfare has changed. It is no longer about sheer numbers alone. It is about intelligence, coordination, and the ability to shape the battlefield before the enemy even arrives. Ukrainian engineers deserve special mention. The construction of trenches, ditches, and concealed firing positions requires time, resources, and skill. These defenses are not improvised. They are carefully designed to channel enemy movement. Every ditch has a purpose. Some are meant to trap vehicles. Others are meant to slow infantry under fire. Combined with mines and pre-registered artillery, they create a layered defense that is extremely hard to penetrate. Russian attempts to use artillery to soften these positions have had limited success. Ukrainian defenses are often well camouflaged, and units disperse quickly after firing, reducing the effectiveness of counter-battery fire. Air power has also failed to shift the balance. Ukrainian air defenses remain active, forcing Russian aircraft to operate cautiously. This limits close air support for ground troops, leaving assault units exposed. Another critical factor is logistics. Ukrainian supply lines to Pokrovsk, while under threat, remain functional. This allows steady resupply of ammunition, food, and medical support, sustaining the defense over time. Russian logistics, on the other hand, are stretched. Long supply routes, constant drone harassment, and artillery strikes on depots make it harder to maintain the tempo of attacks. As casualties mount, the quality of Russian assault troops appears to decline. Elite units have already taken losses earlier in the war. Now, less experienced soldiers are being sent into one of the most fortified sectors of the front. This imbalance further favors Ukrainian defenders, who are fighting from prepared positions with clear fields of fire and strong situational awareness. The human cost of these assaults cannot be ignored. Fields around Pokrovsk are reportedly littered with destroyed equipment and fallen soldiers. Each failed attack leaves behind evidence of how unforgiving this battlefield has become. For Ukraine, holding Pokrovsk is not just about defense. It is about buying time, wearing down the enemy, and shaping future operations. Every Russian unit destroyed here cannot be used elsewhere. Strategically, this matters. Russian forces are already stretched across multiple fronts. Losses at Pokrovsk reduce their ability to sustain pressure in other critical areas. International observers are paying close attention. The battle demonstrates how effective defensive warfare, when properly supported, can blunt even sustained offensives. It also highlights the importance of Western supplied equipment, training, and intelligence. While Ukrainian soldiers do the fighting, the tools and knowledge they use amplify their effectiveness. At the same time, Ukrainian adaptability stands out. When Russian tactics change, Ukrainian responses evolve. New trench lines are dug, drone usage is adjusted, and firing patterns are updated. This constant adaptation keeps Russian command off balance. There is no single tactic that guarantees success against these defenses. The situation at Pokrovsk also sends a message. Simply committing more troops does not guarantee progress. Without coordination, protection, and clear objectives, assaults become costly failures. For Russian leadership, this presents a dilemma: continue attacking and suffer heavy losses, or pause and risk losing momentum elsewhere. Neither option is attractive. For Ukrainian defenders, the challenge is endurance. Holding under constant pressure is physically and mentally exhausting, yet so far, discipline and preparation have kept the line intact. Medical evacuation and frontline care also play a role. Ukrainian units have improved casualty evacuation procedures, increasing survival rates and helping maintain morale. As days turn into weeks, the pattern remains consistent. Russian assault waves advance, hit the ditches and trenches, come under intense fire, and either retreat or are destroyed. Each failed wave reinforces Ukrainian confidence and weakens Russian resolve. Warfare is as much psychological as it is physical, and Pokrovsk is proving that point. Looking ahead, Pokrovsk may become a case study in modern defensive warfare. Analysts will study how terrain shaping, drone integration, and disciplined fire control stopped repeated assaults. For now, the battle continues. Smoke rises from the fields, drones buzz overhead, and soldiers on both sides brace for the next move. But the reality on the ground is clear. The ditches around Pokrovsk have become killing zones, and Russian assault waves are paying a devastating price. Ukraine's defense there is not just holding, it is systematically dismantling the attacking force, one wave at a time. As long as these defenses hold, Pokrovsk remains a powerful reminder that preparation, intelligence, and resolve can turn even the most determined offensive into a catastrophic failure. And that is why the fighting at Pokrovsk matters far beyond this single town, shaping the wider course of the conflict and exposing the true cost of relentless assault warfare.